We did once. Wasn't good.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call to order this public meeting of the Board of Johnson County Commissioners on this Monday, December 18th, 2023. If you care to pray with us, please do, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you bow with me for a moment of prayer, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we are reminded in one of our Christmas songs, down on our knees, as life's trials and tribulations beset us and we're driven to our knees to beg for relief, guidance, and comfort. We're also reminded this time of year to go to our knees and thank you, dear Lord, for the birth of your Son, our Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. In his name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She just said.
Thank you.
She said no, but.
Now, I'm assuming we have received none, so
I would move to table item 2.
Second.
I have a motion second to table item 2 for lack of bids received. I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Elected officials and department heads, Purdue Extension, approval extension contractual services agreement with Purdue University.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Clerk, approval of maintenance agreement renewal with Microvote.
Move to approve.
Second, pending legal.
Good job. Good catch.
Yeah, see that ad on there now.
Have a motion and a second pending legal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public Safety Communications request to attend the Be the Difference Conference in Knoxville, Tennessee, January 28th through 31st, 2024.
Move to approve.
I was just gonna ask Heath, because you referenced there was no expense outside of the registration.
Yeah.
Are you driving your own vehicle? How are you getting?
Yeah, I'm not requesting to take the county vehicle on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
A second. I was just curious.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Heath. Be safe. Animal Shelter Ordinance 2023-0-26, ordinance amending Title 15 of the Johnson County Code of Ordinances, first reading.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further?
Just second, Carrie. Are these fees nominal with surrounding counties or are we out? I'm just asking.
Well,
I
I
don't
know.
know what they
So
are.
some counties don't charge any fees and some counties don't take in owned animals. And so every county is different. But the ones that do take fees usually charge more than what we charge.
Okay. All right. So we're still reasonable. Okay. Motion still stands.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Carrie. Planning and zoning approval of stormwater easement with FMIP LLC.
I'm gonna let Ron take the lead on that one since he's,
The only thing I had looked at on here was the very first line says crest reference. I think it needs to be cross reference. I'm not sure. And
No, unless it's talking about a crest.
well, it could be, I guess, a crest. I don't know what a crest is. It's a watercress salad or something like that. And then I would just,
Which not, sounds good.
yeah.
Okay.
Hold on here a second. I had a under compensation, I think it was. You know, I always like to talk about legal. Well, I can't find it, but anyway, under under compensation, I thought it was on this one, it talks about, for consideration and one thing or another, but there's no exchange of anything. So I just wonder how that's applicable. I'll let Adam address that and while I'm still searching.
Maybe Michelle can.
It was just a curiosity when I read it. Why can't I find it?
Trying to find it as well.
So is Michelle.
I think Adam and Richard from my office, sorry, Michelle Hanser, Director of Planning and Zoning, prepared this document. So I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of the document. I know what it is for. I don't know. I have to find the actual compensation part that you're referring to.
I don't think that's in this easement.
Don't let it go. I'll find that. That'd just be something. It was just a curiosity. It was nothing more than that. Move to approve.
I was trying to give you your space, sir. Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Michelle. You can tell it's end of the year.
Yeah.
It gets real busy at the end of the year. Parks, discussion of non-motorized boating on Lake Cottonwood and ratification of CWC Company LLC change orders 1, 2, 3 for Johnson County Campground Project. Those will be two separate issues.
Kevin Leonard, Park Superintendent. So the first one, yeah, the park board is on board with it, of just allowing non-motorized boating on Lake Cottonwood. Currently, I don't believe it's allowed, to my knowledge. I think Adam, and we've kind of heard from insurance and they weren't
super helpful.
didn't say yes or no.
Yeah, they just said, well, check your regulations and make sure everything's there. And we looked and there's not any checklist in the state that says you have to include anything in particular. So
It should work under normal voting laws.
There was boating on there years ago, correct?
I believe.
There was also a beach, was there?
Yeah, at one
Yeah.
point there was a beach too.
I'm gonna move to approve.
Well, the only exception I have in there, I think should be removed is the requirement for a valid Indiana fishing license. It's private property. You don't need a valid fishing license to fish on private property. And you would have, of course, I know children under a certain age are exempt anyway, but you have a lot of seniors maybe that, grandma might be down there with her grandkids throwing a line in.
I disagree. I'd say it's public ground. So I would say,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
public
mean,
ground.
in Atterbury, inside the camp, in any of those, they have to have fishing license. So I would say, yes, they have to have a fishing license here because it's not a private lake. So now if it's
And-
private, like one on my house, I don't have to have one. But
And-
if you go anywhere outside in the public, you'll have to have one. If you tell them no, you'll get into it with conservation officers big time.
And to my knowledge, they check.
Yes,
The
they do.
DNR will
Yes,
check.
they do. Their quartermasters is about a quarter mile up the road.
How do they handle that at these pay lakes? I don't think you have to have a license for a pay lake.
I don't know. This isn't a pay lake.
All right, well, I could just see, an elderly grandparent there with a couple grandkids and
Unless DNR's there, they'll be fine. I think, yes,
a second.
take your chances, I guess. Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
And then ratification of CWSNE change orders.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Highway, got a bunch of them.
It's your Christmas present.
Yeah,
Luke
Brett?
Matson, Highway Supervisor.
I think I need to read these just because I've been advised that we need to do that on our agendas if we have an agenda.
I'm fine with that.
Resolution 2023 R-12 interlocal agreement with Town of Bargersville Road Maintenance.
I'm gonna move to approve. I mean, we've kind of battered through this thing with Bargersville and got it worked out to everyone's satisfaction.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. 2024 material bids award recommendations and contract extension pending legal
Execution.
execution.
Move to approve.
Pending legal.
I have a motion and a second pending legal. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ratification of NDOT LPA agreement for CCMG 2023-2.
Good morning, Daniel Johnson, Highway Engineer.
Money.
Yes, that's what we're requesting, the ratification. We did receive the full $1 million award, excuse me, for this funding round. For the project, we'll be working on the bids and anticipate construction summer of 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval and execution of LPA consultant agreement for culvert inspection program pending legal.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. County Road 144 Smoky Road intersection safety audit.
I got
Did I
it.
miss one?
There's a
We missed one. Yeah, we missed one, I thought.
No, we got it.
No,
We missed four then.
Number 5, the approval and execution of LPA consultant agreement.
Yeah, we got
for-
that pending.
Did you get to
legal.
Bridge 605?
Number 4? Did I miss number 4? I checked it off, so. You want to do it again just in case?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So I got a question on number 5 on the or no. Number 6. Are we down to 6?
We are on.
Number 6 on the road intersection safety audit. Is that something that's required as a part of the project? It's a requirement?
It is in order to apply for the type of funding, the highway safety funding that we were wanting to receive. We had to provide a road safety audit.
I was just curious because I read through it and I mean, everything they had in there, we already knew, right?
I think
And that's something we couldn't self-perform that, I guess. You got to have an outside firm do it.
The firm that we went with is one that's been used by NDOT.
Yeah.
I've worked with them before. They were able to dedicate the staff and time to
Make
be
the
able
rules
to
wrong.
be able.
Yeah, it's kind of a scratch our back. Yeah, let's get another contract. All right, I move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes. I know on this, everyone's taking a lot of calls on this intersection. I know with the funding through the impact fee, we had rated roads, what we were gonna do intersections, and we picked the 144 in Morgantown as the number 1 between Bargersville and the county. But I think with this road being out here, we're gonna look at changing this, the number 1 priority. Changing the numerical system on this. So just letting you know. Working through that,
Changing it to what number?
number 1.
Oh. Okay.
I'm working through it and I'll keep you advised as we go through this process, but I just wanted to let Daniel know this was just a Friday meeting I had. So we're trying to work through this and kind of change it up a little bit. I know we have ground purchased for the roundabout at Morgantown and 144. We already have that ground purchased. But I think with the amount of traffic that we're getting at this intersection, I know you've done some traffic counts on it. It's getting pretty high. So with the closure, I'm going to work with NDOT and Bargersville on this. So, and I'll let you know what we figure out.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mr. President, just for clarification, I don't know if we discussed number 5, the approval and execution of the LPA consultant agreement for culvert inspection program.
We approved that pending legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And we went back on 4. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Sorry.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we did number 6. And just for clarification, number 4 that we went back to was approval and execution of construction inspection contract for Bridge 605 replacement project. Just for clarification.
Okay.
Thank you. I think we're good. We're moving on. Approval of Amoresco Inc. Guaranteed Energy Savings Contract Annual Saving Report, Year 6.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further?
Yeah, what's the duration of this contract? Is it
10, I think.
is it 10 years?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
10 years. Just a legality, or whatever. All those in,
$5,000.
all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Ratification of CR staffer and associate change orders 1 through 4 for Sheriff's Training Building renovation project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Ratification of supplemental engagement letter with Barnes and Thornburg LLP for 2023 general obligation bonds council services.
Move to approve.
I got a quick question in there. Yeah. I should have made more notes. Anyway, at one point they, in this, under fees, they talk about, not to exceed 25,000, but yet when you get to the bottom line, they're 31,000
31,000.
something. I don't know what's the difference.
Well, the original engagement letter estimated to be 25 if it was not a controlled project. This one had to be given the amount that it was. Adam Sturwald had estimated the additional cost would be about $5,000 more, and this ended up being about 6,000 some change more. So that the difference there was this was a controlled project. For the first time, we generally don't have controlled projects for the general obligations bonds.
Yeah, and I don't know what's involved as a control project versus.
Extra noticing requirements to the public. That's the big one. There's a preliminary determination that has to be drafted that went before council. There's just some extra steps that had to go into it.
That's the first.
Yeah, I
to
was
do that
I'm
way.
just curious with the statement not to exceed.
I think for future, we'll be back where we don't have to worry about it again anyway, so. That will be nice. Did I get a motion and a second on there?
I got a motion. right here.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries. Approval of Indigo Indianapolis Public Mass Transportation Corporation, Section 5307, Urbanized Area Formula CY 2024 Grant Agreement.
Move to approve.
Second. I know. I don't want to.
I get it in quick.
I don't want to, I don't want
Have a motion and a second. Any further?
to, yeah, I could go a lot further, but I'm not going to.
Giving none, all those in favor signify by saying
There you go.
aye. Opposed. Motion carries. I guess I can change that for you.
What's that?
Giving none instead of
Giving none, yeah.
approval of approval of NDOT Public Mass Transportation Fund Operating Grant Agreement for CY 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
That was a weak second.
Motion in a weak second. Any further? Hearing none, all those
No, I'm not going to. One of these days I'm going to cut loose.
We
in,
end of the year, get it out of your system.
so we don't have to go into the negative with it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Approval of a proposal with Elevatus for design services for the Johnson County Community Corrections project. Can we do that?
Second.
No, I did skip
You skipped step
6.
Hmm?
Approval of contract with Elevators for programming on conceptual design. I'm going back, just so you
Oh,
know,
two of them.
then we'll move back. Design of the Johnson County Community Corrections Project pending legal.
Move to approve that one also.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. So did we get 6 and 7 since we'd already motioned and seconded? Legal good with that?
Yeah,
Did y'all take a vote on 7? I know you did 6.
we combined them.
Yeah, we did both of them.
Did both? Okay.
It's fine. They're both.
If we didn't, we do now, yes.
Moving on, approval of 2024 contract for Johnson County litigation attorney with Williams Barrett Wilkowski LLP.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed. Motion carries. Approval of proposal with CR Stafford and Associates. Did I miss one?
9.
Duke Energy.
I'm switching to my computer, guys. I'm having a hard time seeing that. Approval of 2000 or approval of easement with Duke Energy parcel 41 dash, I assume this is on the hospital, right? 41-08-15-043-016.002-009.
That's an approval with an amen.
Well, I thought there was some compensation in that other than $1. No? We just giving them the easement? Okay,
We can get deeper on that if you want to. It cost them $160,000 for the easement.
Because they had to move their line.
yeah, no,
I still would charge them $1 if it was me. Just for the
that's
fun.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Was this the conversation you were thinking of earlier, Commissioner West?
For the
Earlier.
The
compensation,
first one?
was this
No.
compensation you were thinking of earlier?
No. All right.
Approval of proposal with CR Stafford and Associates Phase 2 addition to training building.
Imagine they're doing a good job, aren't they, Wes? I'd move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Approval of proposal with Studio Access Parks Department offices and camping store building.
You're satisfied with them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing,
Move to
they're doing
approve.
well.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. What we got? This is just great stuff. We're just moving.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We got good stuff going on.
I like 12 better because it's a moving in the right direction.
It is for all of them,
It's a
actually.
reduction in costs.
Yeah, approval of Boyle Construction Manager Inc., change order 5 for Health Department and Corner Office Project deduction.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Did you ever think we'd go through this quick?
I am shocked, but happily.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath because now we get to fun part.
It was a lot of reading over the weekend, though. I
Yeah,
will tell you that.
there
It was
was.
a lot of reading. Commissioners 2024 employee appointments. Do we want to read that? One of,
I had it.
Is it yours?
Everybody's
Is that on you?
this year, so you're welcome. 2024 Commissioners Employee Appointments. As Commissioner Chairman, we have Mr. Brian Baird, Drainage Board Commissioner seat, Kevin Walls, Planning Commission, Commissioner seat, Ron West, County Attorney, Adam Gadberry, Assistant County Attorney, Tiffany Costley, County Litigation Attorney, Bill Barrett, County Coordinator, Barb Davis, Highway Director, Luke Maston, Highway Engineer, Daniel Johnston, Planning Director, Michelle Hansard, Weights and Measures Inspector, Greg Nelson, Weights and Measures Part-Time Inspector, Jerry Napier, Maintenance Director, Jason Miller, Emergency Management Director, Stephanie Seesting, Animal Control Director, Carrie Klotchke, Community Corrections Director, Tony Pavanelli, IT GIS Administrator, Jeff West, Museum Director, David Pfeiffer, Veterans Affairs Director, Seneca Harvin, E911 Director, Heath Brandt, and Fleet Director, Bob Glinski.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any further?
Very sweet.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Now we get into the deep woods. 2024 board appointments. Alcohol Beverage Commission Board. current is Bill Withers or William Withers. Been on there, I think it's 3 or 4 years now,
Yeah, he's the incumbent that's asking for reappointment.
4 years, yeah.
So 4 terms of 4 years,
Yes. Yeah, 4 terms.
big change. Or-
He's been doing real well so far. Doesn't matter to me. I just don't know anything about these other.
I know the one really well, Chad Riddle. I know him very well.
Yeah, Chad's on the planning and zoning board and he's going off. I think Chad is.
No, different Chad.
That's Chad Bowman. That's Chad.
Oh, Chad, he made the application for the planning commission, that's what it was.
Yep.
But he wasn't eligible because he's not a Democrat.
Yeah, there's a couple not eligible for.
I have no preference.
Let's mix it up a little bit. I'll move to approve Chad Riddle.
Second.
I have a motion in a chest. Second for Chad Riddle for the Alcohol Beverage Commission Board. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Convention Visitor and Tourism Board. Do we want to move that to the last? Since we've got
Yeah, let's
more
move, because we
discussion?
got a lot of discussion
Let's-
on that one.
We're gonna move B till, delay it till the end. Drainage Board.
Well,
We have 2 incumbents, Dougherty and Poland.
Since I sat on that, I know that, can we table that till the first of the year? I just haven't had a
Do most of
chance.
it, we can.
I motioned to table drainage board.
I have a motion and a second to table Drainage Board till the first of the year. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Table first of year. Let me make a note on that, please. Board of Zoning Appeals.
we don't have anybody, I don't think. Right?
We got a problem there.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
serious problem there. So we need to table that one also.
Yeah.
Move to table plan commission
Commission.
appointments.
Second.
Board of BZA appointments. Right?
No, it's just plan
Planning and these-
commission.
Both of them
Both of them.
Yeah,
in the, I think. Yeah, we need Peter as well to, they've all been advertised, re-advertised, as of last week. So they all need to be tabled until we get more applicants. We need Democrats by law.
Okay, so what if we don't get any? What do we do from there? Can I ask that? question?
Well, if I think there's a statute that actually allows the Democrat Party chair to appoint someone.
Yep.
So if we don't get any applications, you just
Make contact there.
Yep.
Yeah,
so my
Makes
motion would change from the plan commission to both plan commission and board of zoning appeals.
And Peterboa, right?
And Peterboa. Gee, Merry Christmas.
Mhm.
I'm working on Peterboa.
Okay, so we have a motion to table Board of Zoning Appeals, Plan Commission and Peterboa Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals. We have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Burgersville Fire Department District at Large 1.
I would move for Dennis Stewart, the incumbent, to be reappointed since he's the only one that applied.
Second.
Have motion and a second for Dennis Stewart. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Burgersville Fire Protection District, Town of Burgersville, 1.
I'd move for Steve Duke to remain on there.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve Duke, any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Yeah.
Needham Fire Protection District, Needham Township 1. That's
Move
incumbent.
for Terry McLaughlin to remain in the seat.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Terry McLaughlin, any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Nineveh Fire Protection at large one.
For Kirsten to stay on there.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Second. Might have to. Hurry to get that second in there, Ron.
I threw it in quick.
Thanks, Ron.
She's doing a good job. She really is. Motion is second for Kirsten. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. White River Fire Protection District 1.
Move to approve Judge Green.
I think he's the only one.
Second,
No.
yeah. There was another one.
There's George Booth is in.
Oh, there it is. It was buried in here. Yeah. Second.
I have a motion and a second, Judge Green, Judd Green, any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. And then I assume Hensley were
Tabling,
tabling also.
table Hensley Township.
Table Hensley.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to table Hensley, any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Hensley was not on here. So we need to add that down at the bottom of this table.
Impact fee board.
Okay, now let's go back to Convention Visitor and Tourism Board, which,
You got Capital Improvement Board.
oh, then it's not on here either.
It's on the back here.
Yeah, but it's not on here
Oh, yeah.
on my agenda. Capital Improvement Board.
Move to approve Jamie Bowler Smith.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for Jamie Bowler Smith. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
You want to talk about this? I've got one commitment on this. That one's approved. I just have not talked to the other two. I've been able to make contact, but I haven't heard they reapplied. So, I mean, if they're reapplying, I would just go ahead and move forward to approve.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Mo-
Second.
Have a motion to move forward on the Johnson County Impact Fee Review Board for Philip Kreider and Trent Newport and Tanya Smythe, correct?
Yep.
Any further?
Thank you for serving.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we added capital to the agenda. Anything else we need to add before we go back?
Got them all except for tourism.
CBT, I know we've had a resignation, Chet Albin resigned, so now instead of 3, we need 4. We have Jeanette Baker, Lincoln, and Kim Smith, who are incumbents that are re-upping. If we want to maybe
I
do
would
them.
make move to approve those two, Kim Smith and Jeanette Baker. Now we just need to figure out 2 more.
We'll go ahead and get those 2 in and then we can have discussion.
Baker and
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, second.
I have a motion and a second to, for incumbents, Baker and Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. And then we have Danny Causey, who is, I'm assuming he's reapplying.
Yeah.
But I feel there's a conflict of interest there since he's now the director of the Discover Downtown. And also, from what I hear, has a one of the employees now from the Convention and Visitor Tourism Board is now on the board with Dennis Causey. So kind of a pretty in-depth conflict interest as far as I'm concerned. So I would like to propose that we look for two more if there's anyone that you guys have, I do have my recommendations if anybody wants to hear them.
Shoot.
I was looking at Jason Belk. And I've had conversation on both these people and Joe Hubbard to be the final two. Open for discussion. That's what I'd come up with.
Who did you say resigned besides the?
Chet,
Chad Alban.
Albin resigned, and then Danny Clausy we've got a conflict of interest there. As far as I'm concerned.
She's our friend now.
The only,
This board's always been a tough one.
yeah, the one that I thought might be a good one on there was that Robinette. He's in the music business, and a lot of what they do, of course, deals with music and that type of entertainment, but
Belt's got the hotel developer.
Yeah, and I think either one of those would. I'd
and
really
Belk
keep
being
Hubbard on
in
there.
the hotel business, which I like that,
Yeah, let's see, knows the other.
yeah. I would go with those two, in the agreement to that.
Move to approve Jason Belk and Joe Hubbard.
Well, I just asked about Robinette,
Oh, you said Robin,
yeah.
got a quarter?
Huh?
Got a quarter?
No, I got $1, if you can flip it.
I can't flip a dollar.
Oh, that's right.
I like to see Joe Hubbard on there. I really would. I think he'll be a big difference on that board. But that's, again, I just need a motion on two. And we can go from there. I think we all try to avoid that board as much as possible.
That's a thing. I'll go with Robinette and Belk, and then, you can vote if you want, or however, if you don't get a second, then you can go the other one.
A motion for Robinette and Belk.
I don't have the resolution. We just didn't have it, so I don't know.
Who else is?
Do we have confirmation about that resignation? I think we've been talking, I don't think we have any resignation letter,
You got a call.
so that it for sure has happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a call. No. You said you got a call.
So
So I'm assuming it's factual.
that was the last meeting last week.
I had a meeting last week. I know that.
You
Again,
have the
I tried to
full-
stay on
you
that.
guys got the full board.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Can I see it?
If you guys, if we can put the two on there for now and then table this till the first of the year for the other two, because
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? You
So
want to
do-
table till the first of the
That's
year?
all, right, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
if you want more discussion, like I said, I don't care, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, let's just put those two back on. Let's table it and do a little bit further investigation into, I'd like to talk to Jason Belk.
Motion.
Motion to
Motion.
table the final two appointments.
Yeah,
for the-
second.
Have a motion and a second to table the final two appointments on the CVT. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I think that's probably a wise move at this point.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh,
Are we,
I didn't see that. Where's not on?
are we looking at Peter
Can I
Boyd
see that
next, or did
Let me see that.
we handle that?
That was stable.
Table Peter Boyd?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we had to.
I wasn't sure.
I know, but I just.
Yeah. You need to apply. Caution. Yeah, that's. We may have to discuss that.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a conflict. Terry, Totally.
Oh, they you can play both cards on that one right now.
We need to probably have that discussion.
Might have to think about
Yeah, we need to probably have that discussion. New and old business. Approval of WIC lease, Shelby County WIC pending legal.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of addendum reference contractual services with Wes Harrison.
Well, that's a tough decision and
No.
move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? I'm not letting him out of it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Wes does a great job. Thank you, Wes. Claims and credit card.
Okay, well. Michelle's out there. There was a $65 claim of planning and zoning for the Association of Indiana Counties. I don't know what that would be for. I didn't have time to go look up the invoice.
For
I was too busy looking at clothing.
For AIC,
Yeah,
that's probably just used, I imagine.
that's $65.
I'm pretty sure the association is IABO, it's our building association that we participate and continue education for our building official.
Oh, so when they, as counties, it was Association of what?
Business, sorry, not business, building association. Like
I'll go back and look. All right.
building officials and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Probation Department, there's nobody here. They returned 2 grants. One of them $31,471, the other $943. I just was curious why they would be returning that much money and grant money. That's pretty sizable, but
The only thing is unless it's a pre-specified spending and they didn't have the,
Yeah.
to spend the money for that
well,
amount.
I'm sure they had a reason. I was just curious as to why.
I know there's some stuff on Community Corrections Board that we deal with that if you can't spend it, you
Yeah.
can only carry it over or you gotta return it, so.
And then, of course, my favorite is clothing. The coroner's not here, but I wanted to address this with him directly. The coroner had 9 or 10 claims for clothing purchases at the end of the year here, and I referenced before how sometimes elected officials or department heads will get to the end of the year and they try to spend the money within a line item to, I think, maybe in their mind, to preserve that that requested amount going forward in the next budget process. But I just struggle with these purchases that he made, most of them for female. And I was hopeful that he'd be here today. It could be that he hired he's got a new deputy prosecutor and he was outfitting that
It's the
particular.
person he hired for his new administrative assistant that they gave him.
An administrative assistant, I don't think needs combat boots. And that was one of the purchases, so.
I think it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
tactical side zip military combat boot for $120. I don't even know what a deputy coroner would need a combat boot for. There again, I don't do it, that job, so. But anyway, so I think the statement I wanted to make here at the end of the year in regard to this, because I'm always harping on clothing allowance, and Andy back there is sitting in for the sheriff, and Lord knows I've questioned him enough on it, but it to me has almost seemed like it's a kind of a running joke anymore. But I need somebody, some elected official or department head to tell me if we're going to allow wasteful spending of tax dollars, what's the limit? Just give me a limit. How much money you think is a good number to waste taxpayer dollars for? And then we'll debate that, I guess, but I just struggle with every dollar belongs to the taxpayer. And whether it's $1 or $1,000 or $1,000,000. I think we need to be prudent in how we spend those dollars each and every year. And I fault the council in part on some of these expenditures because they control those line items and obviously, I don't think they've done maybe a good job in that regard. So next year, the budget process, and those of you who ever attend that, and I don't blame you if you don't, but I always sit in those budget hearings every year. And next year, I'm going to be much more vocal in replying to some of these budget requests from elected officials and department heads. So if anybody's got a good number out there they think is a good number to waste taxpayers' money, just give me that.
Sir, you mentioned my department, so I'd be happy to say something, just as a counterpoint to that, when you're looking at all that, and I appreciate that you're looking out for the taxpayer. I'm Andy Barnhart, Chief Deputy from the Sheriff's Office, by the way, for the record. It's important to look at also certain items, and I know I look at all the purchases that are made also, so I can speak firsthand about this. Oftentimes, things will last multiple years, so you may have a gun belt, boots that were mentioned, things like that may last 2 or 3 years. Okay, so when we're looking at, there's not going to be an exact amount that's spent every year that you can budget for. So there are times certainly that when we get to the end of the year and we say, oh, look, the purchases were down this year, and we're talking about 200 employees, the purchases are down this year. So we could return the money at that time to the council, to the general fund, and certainly that's a thing. But I would also argue that these items don't go bad. And I have never seen a personal item of clothing that will actually go down in price. So if you purchase stuff ahead now and keep it in inventory, then what you're doing is saving it down the road for when you have a heavier year. So we actually have a person that's dedicated to tracking all of our equipment now, because again, we are the biggest ones and we have the biggest budget for that. And so I would invite you to come look at our inventory that we have. And certainly we do spend stuff here at the end of the year when people maybe haven't spent as much throughout, so that we're prepared for next year and the year after that when the expenditures are higher to help even out that gap. So I would argue when you're looking at this that budgeting process can't be exact, which is what we'd all prefer. But in the low years, you will beef up your supply so that on the high years that you're riding that out. So I would ask you to look at that too, and not just on paper. It's really easy to assume certain things, that things are occurring. But we have things like belt keepers, buttons, all this uniform equipment that we keep in storage because it doesn't go bad for future use. So,
and I surely understand that. There's no argument with that. But what I do argue, and I argued this for years when I was even on the council, that we need to do zero-based budgeting. So in a year where you're going to make anticipated purchases for further use, that would be reflected in your budget, right? So theoretically, you would assume then that the next year's budget for those particular items, there would be a lesser amount than maybe what you had asked to be appropriated in the previous year, right? But I don't see that. What I see is we got 30,000 in this line item this year, we got 30,000 again next year, and 30,000, and then the only way it gets bumped up is if they come up with an increased need or via employment increases and things like that. That's my argument, Andy. I don't see that, and I don't see that in any of the departments. And I fault the council again when they put out their instructions, just flatline all your 200, 300, 400 series dollars, and then we'll work with the 100 series. That's not budgeting. Nobody does anything in that regard in relation to the budget, and I've argued for years on the council. If you need more money this coming year than what you had last year in a line item, come tell us, and we'll look at that and make the adjustments for you. But by the same token, I would expect you to come and say, listen, we didn't spend 30,000 last year. We only spent 20, and we don't think we need but 15 this year. I'd like to see that sometimes too. But I don't fault the sheriff's department. Listen, you guys are a different animal in regard to clothing, and I respect that. You know, just a kind of a pet peeve for me. I like to get it out here at the end of the year, so I don't carry it over to next year. Takes me 12 months to build it up.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and I think while we're on the subject, though, we need to also understand that a lot of these departments are basically spending money so that they don't lose that money and it doesn't return. What I've always said is why don't we reward those departments that don't spend the money, let it roll over into the next year's budget, and then maybe they could lower their budgets because they had leftover expenditures from the previous year. We don't seem to be able to do that. I don't know if that's probably state statute or if that's federal statute that won't allow us to roll those dollars over into their budget for the next year. But I think reward those people for that. Let them keep that money for the next year, and then maybe their budgets could lower and progress like you're saying, but for some reason we don't do that. They have to spend it or lose it. And I think that's just the wrong way to look at it.
They don't have to, again, they don't have to spend it to lose it. Just as I said, they got $3,000 budgeted. They only spent 1,500 this year. 1,500 reverts back to the general fund. Next year, if they really need the 3,000 and they can justify it, they come back in and that's in their budget. So they always get the appropriation they need. What I would like to see it be based on need, not just based on flatlining with existing or previous budgets. That's the problem we're faced with.
It varies from year to year, as I think Chief Barnhart was saying, Chief Deputy Barnhart was saying.
Yeah.
So with that variation, then if they get a credit to that next year, it still should be a variable that they can control that will raise and lower as needed.
That doesn't work. You can't do that because if it carried over, let's say they got $3,000 in line item, they only spent 1,500. Next year, they'd have 4,500 in there. Well, the next year, they maybe only need 1,500 again. So then you're going to carry 4,000 over to the next year.
Then by all relevant issues and how they look at that, then they should lower that budget.
Well, you would expect them to,
But we've never given them a chance to see if they would take that responsibility and do that. We don't give them the chance. We're
Well, I'm
punishing
saying-
them for
what
being
I'm
frugal
saying
with
is-
what we do.
if they carried 1,500 over, now they got $4,500 potentially, but they only need 15 again.
Then they lowered their budget by
Well,
$3,000.
if they lowered their budget, then it basically reverts
That's
back.
what I'm saying. Put it back into their court to where, where they don't have to, where they can make that decision and show us that they're being frugal or they're not. That's all I'm saying. Because it's our budget at home. If we don't spend it, we get to keep it.
That's right. The county does too, or should.
To a point.
Yeah.
But then it'll just get spent for something else ridiculous.
Okay,
And we
so
move on from there.
based on all of that, I am moved to approve. Second.
Motion second.
It's a long way around getting the claims approved, isn't it?
We were doing really good.
That's okay. We did.
Yeah, we
okay.
need that healthy debate every now and then, just to remind ourselves of the due process that we're faced with, and
It's not a-
that we
But it's not a due process. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Commissioner minutes for approval, 12/4/2023 regular meeting, 12/11/2023 executive session.
To approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. Anyone here? Good to see you, Patty. Mike,
Yeah,
thanks
just
for
wish
coming.
everybody a Merry Christmas.
I got one thing. I know there was an officer involved in an accident this weekend.
Yes, two, actually.
2 accidents. yeah.
Well, there's more than two accidents, but
2 injuries,
Yeah.
1 injury, bad severe. So
Yeah.
I just thoughts and prayers go out with that officer during that time.
Mr. Klein Abbott, Officer Klein Abbott,
So
hit a big raccoon. Right? Yeah, I think I saw that raccoon in the road. It was about the size of a good German Shepherd. That was huge. It was a huge raccoon. I don't get it.
While we're thinking about our thoughts and prayers, we keep in mind our clerk, Trina McLaughlin, and Delilah over in the auditor's department are both going through some major life-threatening experiences right now.
And excited about the new year coming up. We got a lot of stuff going on, doing a lot of stuff out at the park, the sheriff's office, community corrections, mental health.
Health
Health
department,
department, coroner's
Coroner's
office. I mean, goodness grief, this county
Courthouse.
is just, yeah, this county is just busting. We are just really moving things forward. I appreciate everybody that's been involved in that this year and everybody sitting up here for their patience and working together to get this stuff moving forward. We've got a really, really good thing going right now, and I just hope that we can continue doing that in the new coming year. But thank you very much for all those that gave condolences for the death of my father. I do appreciate it greatly. But just so everybody knows, he's in heaven, he's happy, he's not missing me, I'm missing him. So he's in front of Jesus right now, so he doesn't really care. But I do appreciate the people that supported us through that. Other than that,
move for adjournment, sir.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We're adjourned.